to hear me talk about the importance of this Veterans Memorial. So I'm not going to dwell on it too long, except to say that as someone who has lived in Mount Lebanon since 1958, I find it amazing that it's taken to 2011 to get one. But with your help, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen because we've had generous contributions from so many of you here in Mount Lebanon and frankly throughout the community. And to help us recognize some of those who have been responsible for getting us off to such a good start, let me introduce the co-chairs of this event this evening, Bonnie VanKirk and Zacharias.
We are going to be very brief. We would just like to thank everybody for coming this evening. Thanks Susan Morgans and her staff who did a great job. And we also have some people here not from Mount Lebanon. We have some friends from Squirrel Hill and people from all over. So thank you for the support. That's it. Thank you.
Boy, that was quick. We're back on time. Awesome. It's my great pleasure now to introduce the chair of this whole operation. He's really a man who needs no introduction. He's somebody who we've all known in the Pittsburgh area and frankly throughout the nation for a number of years. I've had the pleasure of calling Rocky Bleier a friend for many, many years. We have done some things together. Most recently, I had the opportunity to get together again with Jan Scruggs, who was the head of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Dan referenced the fact that back in my congressional days, we had folks right here in Pittsburgh whose names were left off that memorial. And it was a major undertaking to convince the Pentagon bureaucrats that it was wrong to leave names off and that in fact they could inscribe new names, additional names, onto that memorial. And we went to bat. Rocky Bleier has always been there for not just the Vietnam vets, but also for all veterans. And so it is a special honor and privilege for me to introduce the chairman of the Veterans Memorial Committee here in Mount Lebanon, Rocky Bleier.
John, thank you very much. And as everyone before me has said, thank all of you for coming this evening and making this such a wonderful success. Is that better? Just keep it moving. Thank you. One of the things that I've come to learn in the military as well as the playing fields is that teammates become very important, and it's all about helping hands. And very fortunately, I've had a great group of teammates over the years to come and support one another, and so I would like to introduce them who are here tonight. Elsie Greenwood, who you can't miss, standing in the back. Elsie was in the frame up here, and they may not want to come. Just come on up here and say hi to everybody. Elsie Greenwood, make sure you get his autograph. Elsie served in the military, was in the Army Reserve back in the 70s. Just stand here, just say hi. You don't have to say a word, just say hi. That's right. This is his tall order. Oh, you couldn't see me from. That was what he was trying to do. John Banaszak, former Marine, is here this evening with us. John, thank you very much. And Randy Grossman, who served in the Mossad. That in. Pretty good. Mike Wagner is here. The dubious distinction of patrolling the streets at night and making sure his roommate Jack Ham was always in on that time. I know that Andy Russell and Cindy will be coming later from the airport if they make it. I know they will be late here. Matt Barr was here earlier and he had to leave because he had soccer practice. And I want to thank I want to thank each and one of my teammates for showing up and being part. And so, if you get a chance, be able to say hi and talk to them. So.
And that's kind of a broad term. A lot of it, I mean, it means different things to different people. Personal sacrifice can mean, giving up family ties. It can mean ruining relationships. It can mean time commitments. It can be quitting a job that you really want. It can mean bowing out of college. Again, it means different things to different people. One of those attributes, though, is heroism. As a child growing up in Pittsburgh, and I don't want to start down that path. It all started back when. But as a child growing up, I mean, you take kids in Texas and their heroes have always been Cowboys. Well, here in Pittsburgh, our heroes had always been Steelers. And it was that, it really was, I mean, it sounds almost trite or cliche, but there really was that blue-collar mentality, and it was people like Rocky and people like LC and the other guys who showed that on the field every day. They were heroes to millions of people who watched the game. Their military service was heroic to guys who had been there and done that. And again, heroism, like personal sacrifice, I think, has different meanings for different people. And for me, even as a kid, my heroes, I looked up to people in the military, and I think that's what prompted me to end up serving. As I've grown older, I think I've developed a better concept of what heroism means. Sometimes it means laying down your life, and sometimes it means other things. EMTs, preachers, teachers, moms, those are all heroes. I do want to take a second, though, and recognize somebody who's here tonight who over the years really has demonstrated those kinds of qualities I regard as heroic, and I don't want to put him on the spot. He's a Mount Lebanon native like me, and I know him pretty well. He actually served 3 tours in 6 years in Iraq. My younger brother Josh, where is he? Right here. Thank you. See how that works? I'll wrap it up here. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This memorial means a lot to a lot of different people, and again, for different reasons. And it's a good way to remember that freedom has a cost, and some people have paid the ultimate price for that.
I'm going to take you back a few years to a small island in the Pacific. That'll show you one of the reasons why we need a war memorial. This was an island about 25 square miles. Runway Eagle on that island sits there. On the right-hand side is a loading pit. It's a loading pit for Little Boy, the first atomic bomb. We didn't even know whether it was going to work or not. Fortunately, it did. On the other side of that runway is a loading pit for Fat Man, the uranium bomb, which Chuck Sweeney drops some days later. Now, I would like to suggest that after the dropping of those 2 bombs and Hirohito's acknowledgement that the punishment was beyond his people's ability to bear, that he settled a war just like that. And I would also suggest also that between at the time that we invaded Tinian, we invaded Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and a few other places where ugly battles were fought. But finally, with the dropping of 2 atomic bombs, Hirohito finally got the message. He said, "My people cannot bear anymore." And I would like to suggest also that and the very benevolent occupation run by General MacArthur changed Japan from a warlike nation to a peace-loving nation it is today, and a good friend of ours. I've had many Japanese students live with us over the years. I could not ask for better. They are good examples of their nation and of their people. End of message. Thank you.